We saw this, right? We saw this circuit while we were learning the cutoff frequencies, the lower cutoff frequency and higher cutoff frequency of MOSFETs, right? So therefore, now here A of j omega is equal to 1 by 1 plus j omega RC. So if I have to plot this, okay, so 20 log of AV. So this is at 0 dB. And then it comes down, right? So this we call it as the cutoff frequency. And we proved that this is equal to 1 by RC. We have done it earlier. So basically we see what is that value of omega for which the gain becomes equal to 1 by root 2. So this becomes equal to 1 by root 2 when omega is equal to 1 by RC. So that we call it as the cutoff frequency, right? So therefore, we can represent any single pole system. So when I say single pole system that has 1 plus j omega, 1 j term, that has 1 j term in the denominator, we can represent such systems as, generalize it as A, where A is the maximum gain of the circuit divided by 1 plus j omega over omega c, where omega c is nothing but the bandwidth. Correct? So therefore, any single pole system can be represented as A, which is A is the maximum gain, okay, divided by 1 plus j omega by omega c. Now, we know that A of j omega is equal to the maximum gain divided by 1 plus j omega by omega c. Now let's try to find out when I close the single pole system, okay, with a feedback loop, then what happens to this transfer function? I can represent a closed loop. Okay, the gain of the closed loop of a single pole system as A of j omega divided by 1 plus beta into A of j omega. There's something similar, right? So we derived this. AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta. So now we are representing the same thing along with the frequency component. So is this clear to all of you, this equation, how I represented? So A closed loop gain, now with respect to j omega, is equal to A of j omega divided by 1 plus beta into A of j omega. Now let me expand this. Okay. A of j omega, I know. I can write it as A divided by 1 plus j omega by omega c, okay, divided by 1 plus beta A plus j omega by omega c. I have just substituted for A of j omega here from 1. Okay. So this, in this equation, I have substituted for A of j omega from 1. Okay. Now, I can rewrite this equation. So this equation can again be rewritten. Let me rewrite that down here. This equation can again be rewritten here as A divided by 1 plus A beta plus j omega by omega c. So taking LCM and cancelling it. Okay, just take LCM and cancel the denominators. So this equation can be rewritten as this, so which in turn is equal to, now divide both numerator and denominator by 1 plus A beta. So then this will be A divided by 1 plus A beta divided by 1 plus j omega omega c into 1 plus A beta. So how did I get this? So I just divided this equation. So I just divided this equation. Divide both numerator and denominator by 1 plus A beta. Now look at this equation. So for a closed loop system now, this is of the form maximum gain. So the maximum gain of any closed loop system is A divided by 1 plus A beta, 1 plus J omega by the bandwidth, the cutoff frequency. So now instead of omega C here, you have omega C into 1 plus A beta, which means for a closed loop system, the bandwidth has increased by a factor of 1 plus A beta. So when you have an open loop amplifier, when you close it with a feedback, then the gain decreases by 1 plus A beta. The bandwidth increases by 1 plus A beta, so as to maintain the gain bandwidth product constant. Okay. Next, we'll see what are the different types of feedback. But before that, let's recall the different types of amplifiers that we have studied. Okay. So now, if the input to an amplifier is voltage, if the output of the amplifier is an voltage, so then what do we call that kind of an amplifier? So it's an voltage amplifier basically. So if an input to the amplifier is current and output is also current, so then we call that as a current amplifier. Okay. So if the output of an amplifier is current and if the input to the amplifier is voltage, so what do we call those kind of amplifiers? Output is current, input is voltage. What do we call those amplifiers?
Transconductance amplifier.
Yes. So transconductance amplifier. Right? The other case, when the output is voltage, input is current, it's called trans resistance amplifier. So now, in case of an voltage amplifier where the input is also voltage and the output is also voltage, so it is possible to feed a part of the output voltage at the input, and such kind of feedback we call it as voltage series feedback, where the first term here refers to the output that is sensed. Now look at this. The first term in the feedback refers to the output that is sensed. Okay. So whenever you're feeding back an voltage, it is always fed back in series. We will see how in the next slide. Okay. So whenever you're feeding voltage back at the input, it is always fed in series. So now if you're feeding back voltage at the input, it is always fed in series. So therefore this name is a combination of what you're sensing at the output and how you're feeding back to the input. Okay. So if you're feeding back voltage at the input, it is always fed in series. If you're feeding back current to the input, then it is always fed in shunt. So therefore, this name here is a combination of what you're sensing at the output and how the feedback is fed back to the input. So therefore, when the output is voltage and the input is also voltage, since voltage is fed back in series at the input, so we call that as a voltage series feedback. If the output is current and it is fed back in the form of an voltage at the input, then we call that as current series feedback. So if we sense output voltage and feed it back in the form of current at the input, then that is called as voltage shunt feedback. If the output is current and you feed it back as current at the input, then that is called as current shunt feedback. Can we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
So now first let us see how does an voltage series feedback look like. We have already seen how an voltage amplifier looks like, right? So the general block diagram of an voltage amplifier looks something like this. So now this amplifier will have some input resistance. So let's call that as Ri. So whatever voltage is dropped across Ri is going to get amplified. So this will be A times Vi. So this is going to get amplified, and then you will have the output resistance of that equal to R naught. And finally, so you will take the output voltage here across some load. Okay. So now let's draw an ideal case where you have Vs, where you have an input voltage Vs, okay, which has zero input impedance, okay. And then let's say your load has infinite output impedance. That is this load, let's keep this open so that it has infinite output impedance. So this is the best case, right? So in this, whatever voltage is supplied here is going to get dropped across this input resistance I. So that's going to be amplified A times. And since this is an open circuit, there's no current, you will get the entire amplified voltage across the output. Right? So this is the best case of an voltage amplifier. So now let's see how this looks if I give a feedback to it. So if I have to give feedback, then I have to feed a part of the output voltage to the input. Correct? So now let me take this entire voltage to the feedback path first. Okay, so this is the feedback path. Let me draw it in a different color. So now this is the entire voltage, but then you will have to feed only a part of it to the input, right? So this is V naught. So now you will have an attenuator here, okay, which will take a value of beta V naught, correct? So this will take a value of beta V naught. So where beta is less than 1. So therefore now if you feed this back to the input, then you're feeding only a part of the output voltage back to the input. So how do I feed it back? As I told you, we are going to feed it back in series, right? We are going to feed that back in series. Okay, this entire thing got erased. Okay, so here you had a resistor. So now you have to feed that back. So you're going to feed that back in series. Okay, you have sampled the output voltage in shunt. Okay, but this voltage when you're feeding back, you're going to feed it back in series. Right, this is how it is done. So that's why this is called a voltage series feedback, where you're sampling the output voltage in shunt, but then you're feeding the voltage back to the input in series. So is this circuit clear? If it's clear, please make a note of it. Do you want me to go through this again? Is this clear? Can you please say something in the chat box?
Yeah, ma'am.
Clear. Okay, make a note of this. Then we'll see what happens to the input impedance and output impedance of the closed loop system. So now let's quickly try to derive the gain of this closed loop system. We already know what we're supposed to get, but let's quickly do it. So here we know that V naught V naught is equal to A times Vi, correct? Because this is open, no current. So V naught is equal to A times Vi. So this I can express it as A times Vs minus Vf, right? So what's Vf? Basically, Vf is the feedback voltage. So if you apply a KVL to this loop, KVL to this input loop, you end up getting Vs is equal to Vi plus Vf. So therefore, I can write Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. But what is Vf? Vf here is nothing but beta V. Okay, so Vf is beta V naught. So you substitute that here. So I can write V naught is equal to A times Vs minus beta V naught. So now what will be V naught by Vs? It will be nothing but A by 1 plus A beta, which is the closed loop gain. So we have already derived this, but just for the sake of completeness, we did this again. Okay. So now let us see what happens to the input impedance and output impedance of the closed loop amplifier. Okay. So now this open loop amplifier, okay, open loop, will have an input impedance equal to Ri, correct? So the input impedance of the open loop amplifier is Ri. So if Ii is the current flowing through this, then I can write Ri is equal to Vi by Ii, right? So in case of closed loop, that is with feedback. So let's call this input impedance as RIF. So that is the input impedance with feedback. So this will be given by input voltage divided by the input current. Same loop current, right? So same loop current is flowing. So therefore I can write Ri with feedback as input voltage, which is Vs divided by Ii. So now in order to find out the input impedance of the closed loop amplifier, I'll have to find out what is Vs by Ii. So let's start with this basic equation itself. So this is given as Vs by Ii. But we know that Vs is equal to Vi plus Vf, right? So we know that Vs is equal to Vi plus Vf. So I can write this as Vi plus Vf divided by Ii. Vf is equal to beta V naught, correct? So I can write this as Vi plus beta V naught divided by Ii. But what is V naught? V naught I can write it as A times Vi, where A is the open loop gain, correct? So I can write V naught is equal to A times Vi. So let me substitute that here. So this will be equal to Vi plus A beta times Vi divided by Ii. So now let me take Vi common. So I can write Vi by Ii into 1 plus A beta is equal to IRF, or this simply means the input impedance with feedback RIF is equal to Ri, which is the input impedance of the open loop, into 1 plus A beta. So now in an voltage amplifier, as you can see, it's better if we have a very high input impedance, isn't it, in case of an voltage amplifier. So when you give a negative feedback to the voltage amplifier, now you see that the input impedance of this amplifier with feedback is enhanced by a factor 1 plus A beta, which is even better. Right? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So we just proved that in case of an amplifier, when you give a feedback to it, in voltage amplifier, when you give a feedback to it, so the input impedance of that feedback amplifier increases by a factor 1 plus A beta, and this is supposed to be very good for an voltage amplifier, because the higher the input impedance, the better it is. Right? So please make a note of this.
We can continue, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's see what happens to the output impedance. Okay. So all these changes to the circuit for the output impedance, I'll mark it in yellow so that you can make out. So how do you calculate the output impedance of any amplifier? You short the input first, right? So basically you're going to short the input, and then you apply a small voltage V0 here. So you apply a small voltage. Let's say we apply a small voltage V0 at the output, and then find the current I0, right? V0 by I0 will give us the output impedance of the closed loop amplifier. So now let us solve for the output impedance of the closed loop amplifier here. So for the open loop, in case of open loop, okay, so the output impedance is equal to R0, right? So the output impedance is equal to R0. So in case of closed loop, let's call that as ROF. Let's call this as ROF. Okay. So now if we apply KVL to this outer loop, if we apply KVL to the outer loop, I can write V0 is equal to I0 R0 plus A times Vi. Correct? So if I apply KVL to this outer loop, I can write V0 is equal to the voltage across R0 plus A times Vi. But what is Vi equal to now? Can you tell me what is Vi equal to now? Vs is 0, right? So now Vi will be equal to minus Vf, because we know that Vi plus Vf is equal to Vs, right? Vs is 0. So now therefore Vi will be equal to minus Vf. So let me substitute that. So we know that V0 is equal to I0 R0 minus A times Vf. But what is Vf equal to? Beta V0. Correct? Vf is equal to beta V0. Vf is equal to beta V0 here. So therefore, V0 is equal to I0 R0 minus A beta V naught is what I can write. Now let me shift it to the other side. So I can write V naught into 1 plus A beta is equal to I naught R naught, or in other words, I can write V naught by I naught is equal to R naught by 1 plus A beta. So what is V naught by I naught? It's nothing but the output impedance of the closed loop amplifier, right? So therefore, here, let me summarize. I can say RIF increases by a factor equal to 1 plus A beta in case of closed loop, and ROF decreases by a factor 1 plus A beta. And as in the case of a voltage amplifier, you need the input impedance to be very high and the output impedance to be very low. So this is enhancing, right? So it's increasing the input impedance by a factor 1 plus A beta and decreasing the output impedance by a factor 1 plus A beta, which will further improve the efficiency, the linearity of the amplifier. Is this clear? Do you have any doubts in calculating the input and output impedance? So can you all please make a note of it?